Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's been a little while since I did a hairstyling video, but I just got a really fun new tool in recently, which is this Mermade Hair Waver, and I've been really excited to try it out. I have already had the chance to play around with this a few times, so safe to say I do definitely have some tips and tricks to share with you guys how exactly you should be using this, along with some lessons, because there was a slight learning curve that went into knowing how to use this perfectly. What I'm going to be doing today is reviewing this specific waver right here, whether or not I like the results, how long it lasted, and some tips and tricks that I learned along the way while using this, because there definitely is a slight learning curve when it comes to using this. Although I would love to jump right into getting my hair waved immediately, I'm just going to preface a couple of things before we get started. This hair curling iron is a little bit heavy, so just be careful when you're using it. Your hand might get tired. As you can see, it is a triple barrel one, so it's quite bigger than your normal curling iron. Just want to let you guys know in the case you're not prepared for that. But that being said, I actually comfortably switch in between both hands when I'm using it, which is not too bad. It kind of helps to alleviate the weight. But other than that, that is one of the main issues that I noticed as soon as I picked it up. So the package that this arrived in also included a pair of heat-proof gloves. I think that's what they're called. The primary reason why you're going to want to use it is because the little push tab right here gets quite hot when you're pressing it. This goes up to, I think, 210 degrees Celsius, but I don't ever push it over like 180 just because my hair takes to the wave quite well. But that being said, it still gets really hot in here, and sometimes my thumb just kind of like warms up a little bit. So if you want to avoid having any heat on your fingers, I would highly recommend wearing the glove. I'm not going to wear the one that they gave me particularly just because I have another one that I really like already from my previous curling iron that I use with like literally everything. So that's the one I'm going to be sticking with, but I would highly recommend that you use that. Another part I love about the design and construction of this is that the cord swivels at the bottom. Now this shouldn't be new when it comes to hair tools, just because so many hair tools on the market already have implemented this swivel based cord, but I did want to call it out as well just to let you guys know that it is a nice swivel cord, so you never have to worry about your cords cracking or breaking at the end right here. Another component on the construction of this that I actually really like is the stand. I haven't exactly figured out how it's supposed to work just quite yet, because when it comes packaged, it's flush against the base right here, and then when you open it up, I tried to set it down like this on the table, but because of the weight of the whole waving curling iron, it kind of like pushes it forward. So what I've actually been doing is just laying it flat like this. It just lays completely on the counter just like that. So I don't know if that's right or wrong. Please tell me, Mermaid Hair, if I'm doing this wrong, because I would like to do it correctly, but that's just what I do. I just set it on my counter like that. I believe this also comes in a black, so if you're not a fan of pink, you can definitely get the black one. But I thought that pink would be cute since I already have so many white and black hair tools sitting in my house that a pink would be a nice touch of color. And it's not like I'm gonna bring this outside anyways for anyone to see, so who cares? I do have the wider barrel. I believe there are two sizes, either the 35 or the 55. I may be wrong. I'll link everything down in the description bar below. I have the wider barrel, and I specifically chose that one because I have much longer hair, so I wanted my waves to be much more loose. I think it would probably be a little bit nicer to have like tighter waves if you have shorter hair, just because the wide barrel might not be enough for you to necessarily use from like a bob length haircut. It's not going to give you that big of a wave, so you have smaller waves, it'll be a lot more kind of like enunciated and pronounced. So I'd recommend getting the bigger one if you do have long hair like I do. When you first plug this in, it turns on almost immediately. Right here, the little blue right there. I don't really fiddle around with the temperature settings. I just leave it at 180 just because I think that that's hot enough for my hair. I already have the kickstand up, and I'm just going to place it right down on my surface in front of me just like this. Heats up relatively quickly. It's already at 57 degrees. I think give it like 3 to 4 minutes max and it'll be at its full heat. In the meantime, I apologize in advance if this turns out poorly, just because I'm literally doing this in front of my TV. I'm in my living room right now and I don't have the biggest mirror, so you may have to run off every once in a while to go to the bathroom to fix this up just in case, because I don't have as big as a mirror as I would love to. But I did want to preface that couple of things you will want to focus on when you're curling this. At the top here, when you open it up, you will see that there is this little like straight line here. When you are turning this on, this whole mechanism heats up, so this part gets hot as well. And if this touches your hair, it's going to leave like a little crimp mark. Obviously over the course of a few days, it kind of like fades away and it's not as prominent. But if you do press it really tightly in your hair, you will notice like a crimp mark, almost like an elastic band mark when you tie your ponytails up way too tight. So did want to preface that and let you guys know. In order to avoid that little crimp mark in your hair when you're holding onto your hair at the ends or you're like pressing it, I would just push the hair along the direction of the barrel. So continue to wrap it around whichever way it's going. Just don't wrap it against this little straight part right here. I'm going to go get my glove while I'm waiting for this to heat up, and I'll be right back. Right, so I got my glove in hand, and I also grabbed a hair elastic at the same time. You guys know whenever I style my hair, I like to section my hair off into two parts. So what I'm gonna do is actually tie off the right side. I've already gone ahead and brushed through it to make sure that there are no tangles whatsoever at all. And I am just going to tie it up with my hair elastic. So what I noticed when it comes to curling my hair with this waver is that it's actually capable of taking on thicker sections just because it's such a wider surface for it to hold on to, which is great. You would think though that because it is a wider surface area for you to heat up your hair and style it, that it would take less time for you to style your hair, but that is incorrect, because when you're curling your hair, usually for me at least, I wrap all the hair around the barrel, let it heat up, and then let the whole thing drop. With this, you really do have to take your time. You're gonna go in, press your hair once, and then press it again, and then press it again. And if you have hair as long as me, you might have to press it for the 4th time. And the issue that I have with this is that because your hair is going to go in a certain pattern, you can't just haphazardly press it wherever you want. You kind of have to like flow and fit it back into the curling iron to make sure that it performs that perfect wave. You guys will understand what I mean once I get into it, so let's just jump right into curling my hair. For the sake of this video, I'm actually going to just do a top portion so you guys can see what it looks like, and I'm gonna pick a smaller portion, I think, just so I can like kind of show you what it looks like. So I've picked off a portion about like this much from my hair. Usually I take a little bit less when it comes to curling my hair just because there's not as much surface area on the curling iron. If you guys see me looking past the camera, I'm looking at a mirror in the back here because I really don't want to burn myself when I'm doing this. So I pick a portion that's about this wide, and be careful because it is going to slip a little bit once you put it into the waver. You're going to separate your waver just like this. When I'm doing my left side, I actually curl with the waver facing like in towards me. So I'm just gonna open it right up, bring it in, and I like to bring it as close to my scalp as possible so the waves start a little bit higher. And then you just press down, and you literally have to leave it there for like 5 or 6 second max. It does not take long for the waves to form. So I'm gonna take it off in a second now and show you what exactly it looks like and show you what I mean by making sure that it fits the mold perfectly for the next wave that you're going to do in this section of hair. Okay, so now that I've removed it, as you guys can see, it is quite wavy. See if I can grab that section again because I accidentally just dropped a few pieces of hair. So as you can see, it starts right here, and this is what I told you about the crimping spot in the top with that straight edge. I hope you guys can see this in the video. It has created like a dent on my hairline up here, but it looks like it goes along with the wave, so I don't have the biggest issue with it. And then if you look very closely right here, this is where it went up, and then down, and then up again. Now you could skip it and start the next wave over here so that it just continues going up here, down, and then back up. However, I like to make it perfect and crisp, and so that it's curled into that perfect wave every single time, because as you can see at the end here, this is where the other side of the straight angle was, and it creates like this really weird straight crimp. I'm actually gonna go back in and line up the very first barrel so it logs underneath this hump right here, and it'll perfect that hump upwards, and then the next barrel will push this down to the perfect wave downwards, and then the last barrel will push it back up that way. So I'm gonna show you guys what exactly I mean by that. So opening it up, hopefully this makes sense, I am going to lock it into that same spot that the last barrel was in, back into the first barrel. And then you're gonna press it just like this. You guys don't really understand what I mean. I would recommend slowing down a little bit. It's really hard to understand when I'm explaining it audibly, but if you watch it visually, it makes sense. So you're just gonna keep it there for a few seconds, and then you're just gonna like let go. And as you can see, it created the perfect curl going downwards again. Now the only problem with this is that every time you create 2 curls, you're gonna backtrack into one and you're only adding another one, which is what I mean when I say it takes a long time to go through curling all of your hair. So you do have to be patient. The first time I did this, I'll admit it actually took me about like 45 minutes to an hour to curl my whole head. Whereas when I use just like a curling wand, it doesn't take me longer than like 20 minutes max to do my entire head. I am also pretty sure that with practice, this will also get a lot faster, and I'll be able to perfect the process and it won't take as long. Just be aware that in the meantime, it'll take you a while to get used to this movement because there's a lot of different hand movements involved than when it comes to just like curling or straightening your hair. So you're gonna go back in and finish this process all the way down to the bottom, and then I'll show you what the final process process of one fully waved piece looks like, and then I'll go ahead and just do one half of my head and then come back and show you what the other half looks like. When I am close to the bottom, it really depends how much is left. If there's this much of my hair left, then I'll go in and add one more wave in. If there's less than that, I usually leave it, but at the end, it doesn't really matter what it looks like. I think your hair kind of like falls down to nice like beachy waves anyways by the time you're done, so it's not too bad and it looks kind of nice. So there's a little bit dangling just right out here. If you really want a straight end, that'll give you a super beachy look, but otherwise I just like curl all the way to the end and it just slowly starts to fall out over the course of the week. So there you have it. All right, my entire strand is done, and as you guys can see, that takes a lot more effort than it usually does for you to curl your hair, but this is an example of what it can look like when you fully wave one piece of hair. I think that probably took me about like 1 to 2 minutes max, and if I was to properly section off my hair, I'd probably have anywhere from like 15 to 20 sections I would want to wave. If you guys do the math, quite a lot of times. Like I said, practice makes perfect. The more you do it, the better it's gonna get. I personally like to actually section my hair from the bottom and work it upwards just because this wave catches onto a lot of hair. So if I was to set this down, I'm gonna pick up other strands and kind of mess into it, and then I won't know what's been waved and what's not. But like I said, for the purpose of this video, I decided to show you a piece on the top just to show you exactly what it looks like. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna speed this up, but I'm going to start sectioning and waving from the bottom of my head, moving upwards, and then show you guys what it looks like once I have half of my head done. Alright guys, so that is one half of my head done. I'm going to take the ponytail out on this side so you guys can see the difference. There is so much more volume in my hair on this side, and it actually looks like I have so much more hair on the side of my head right now. I do the exact same thing when it comes to my bangs. I just crimp them as well, and I actually like to leave my bangs a little bit straight towards the ends just so they're a little bit wispier, since they frame my face a little bit better that way. But this is essentially how it looks. I'm going to go ahead and do this side of my head. So that whole half of my head took about 30 minutes for me to do, but I did do this in front of a camera versus in front of my mirror that I usually do it in, so it took a little bit longer. But like I said, this process just actually does take a little bit longer than curling your hair regularly, so please be patient, but I'm sure as you do this more frequently, it's gonna get a lot easier and a lot faster for you to do. So I'm gonna go ahead, do the other side of my head, and then I'll be right back to you guys. All right, I am back, guys. The other side of my head is completely done, and as you can see, my hair looks ridiculously volumized. What do you guys think? This side actually took a little bit shorter to do just because I went to the bathroom to do it, so I'd have a full-length mirror in front of me versus doing this in front of a camera with a tiny mirror in the back. But I am so obsessed with this look. I literally feel like I look like a mermaid. And you know what? As long as it takes to do the process of crimping and waving your hair, I still think it's worth it just because I cannot achieve this look any other way with my curling iron, with braids, with my wavers. So I am very thankful for this hair tool to be able to create this look for me. I don't think I'd give it up for anything else. So let's move right into my final thoughts on the Mermade Hair Waver. Is it worth the money? Yes or no? I think it definitely is worth the money. It is under $100, which makes it super affordable in the realm of hair tools. My T3 with all of the hair attachments is like $200-300. I have a Dyson blow dryer, which is like $600. So in the grand scheme of things, I think for what it does, it's very, very affordable, and it does it very foolproof. Like there's no mistake going on whenever you're making it. It just perfectly waves your hair. Time-wise going into it, I think there definitely is a learning curve as to how to perfectly wave your hair. Like I said, you do have to make sure you follow in the valleys and troughs of the waves as you're creating it so you don't get those weird crimp lines. I definitely think the more you do it, the easier it's going to get. The more you're gonna notice how you like the waves to look as well. Obviously, you can make them really loose. I've seen some girls literally just like clip their hair really quickly and just keep moving down to create a more like relaxed wave look. My hair, on my personal side, I like to make it a little bit fuller the first time around just because my hair kind of likes to fall out. This is just like recurring behavior that I've learned about my hair after waving and curling it for so many years. I know that on the first day it's gonna look crazy and super volumized just because I've overdone it a little bit, but over the course of the next 2-3 days it's gonna kind of like calm down, relax, follow it a little bit more, and look stellar. So we're gonna next jump right into the longevity of these waves, which I have good news for you guys. When it comes to curling my hair, you guys know already that I try to wash my hair maybe like once a week max, usually going anywhere from like every 4 to 5 days if possible. Obviously, now that we're staying at home, I've been washing my hair even less just because I have nowhere to go and no one to look cute for, really. But when I do curl my hair, I usually find that by day 3, 4, the curls have literally fallen to the bottom, primarily because the ends of my hair are color treated and the top of my hair is virgin hair right now. None of this is color treated, literally I think like up to my ears. This is all just like my pure normal hair. And I found that when it comes to styling virgin hair, it just doesn't hold a style as easily, and all of my waves tend to fall out towards the bottom of my hair where it is color treated and a little bit more damaged. And as you can see already right here, it's like super frizzy, but this part of my hair holds a style really well. I don't know if it's also just because my hair is so long right now and dense, it does get heavier, so all the curls just like drop to the bottom due to gravity pulling it down from the top. That could be it. But like I said, by day 3, usually my curls have just fallen down to the bottom. It looks like I have 2 balls of curls at the bottom here. I don't mind it. I kind of like the look. It looks very full and fluffy, but on other days I do wish my hair stayed curly longer so I could have more volume on the top, but it is what it is. When it comes to these waves though, I actually tried this out earlier last week, and these waves stayed in for 5 full days straight before I wash it, and I even still had waves up on the virgin hair area. It looks like when my hair starts to fall out, all of it just kind of like straightens on its own. I don't know if it's because when I am applying the heat to my head, I'm applying it evenly at like individual spots repeatedly over and over again, so it's giving it equal styling amounts of heat on the top and at the bottom, or if just because this sort of look overall really distributes the weight of the hair a lot more evenly since you're waving from the top to the bottom, and it just kind of allows it to keep its wave, I guess. If anybody knows hair physics, please explain to me why my hair stays crimped a lot longer than when I curl it. But for some reason, this style stays in my hair for a long time. I don't even have to touch it up whatsoever at all. Now, I haven't traveled anywhere humid necessarily with this hairstyle just quite yet, so I don't know how this is gonna last through humidity, but knowing my hair, it falls straight pretty quickly, so chances are it's not gonna last that long either. I'm going to obviously try this a little bit more throughout the summer and let you guys know in a follow-up video sometime down the summer months whether or not humidity allowed my hair to stay wavy. But at the moment, I'm really loving it because it's keeping my waves and the style in without me having to touch it up whatsoever at all. So what is my final verdict on the Mermade Hair Waver? I think it is a complete go. Although you do need to invest a little bit more time into learning how to use it, and when styling your hair, I think the overall results are phenomenal. This is such a cute look, especially for the summer now. If you really like a boho style or just want to look like a pure mermaid, it's wonderful. It lasts so long as well. Like I said, you don't need any sort of touch-ups whatsoever, which is even better because I feel like the less time I have to worry about my hair after I get it done, the better it is. I don't like having to go in and refresh my hair every single morning, so I love that it stays continuously wavy like this for the entire duration of time before I need to wash my hair again. And also, the price point is so good. It's not going to get any cheaper than this, although I have seen a couple of similar hairstyle ones being sold for a little bit less. I just think this one works really well for the price, and I'm not complaining. It's not like it's a $600 Dyson hair waver. So at the end of the day, I think it's a very good investment tool. It does take up a little bit of space and it's a little bit heavier on your hands when you're using it, but as you use it more, you get used to it. So do I think it's worthwhile to get? Yes, I definitely do. Obviously, only if you guys have been wanting to for a while and you want a review just to see how it is. If you don't need it, then I wouldn't necessarily say go run and get it. It's not something everybody needs. I think it's just a nice thing to have around, and if you want it, then yeah, get it. The value is great. At the end of the day, I'm just like obsessed with this hair and how easy it was to create this look. I'm going to be wearing this a lot throughout the summer and probably giving up my curling iron for the next few months as I just do this to my hair because it's so easy to accomplish. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this review and found it resourceful. Let me know if you guys did happen to already have this in your possession and what you think of it too. If you guys are going to get it, let me know, and please send me pictures as to how your hair looks after you try it out. I've heard it looks really cute on short hair as well, so please don't get discouraged if you do have short hair. I've heard it works really well. But other than that, thank you so much for watching this video, guys. I hope you found it helpful. I will see you guys in the next video, and make sure to follow me on Instagram and Twitter if you guys want to see daily updates, because I'm very active on those channels. Otherwise, I hope you guys have an awesome day, and I'll see you in the next video.